What's up guys, it's Mike for SimRacing604, and today I'm going to be sharing some tips I got from Aris, aka Aris.Drives on YouTube. He had shared some tips with some of us prior to the release of Assetto Corsa Competizione version 1.8. For those that don't know, Aris is the physics and settings genius from the Kunos team, and all credit is due to him for this information. I'm just relaying this to you to hopefully help you get used to the revised physics in version 1.8 and beyond of ACC. So of course we'll start with number one, start with a clear mind. When you first boot into version 1.8 of Assetto Corsa Competizione, try and keep an open mind. Some things you'll probably notice right away and some things are more subtle. Some things will click with you right away and some things you'll need to grow into. For example, you'll probably feel more connection between the car and the road by way of the improved force feedback, but your setups may or may not work. My advice is to load up a session and test a favorite car and track with the default setup, and then run laps until you get a feel for what's changed and then modify your setup in kind. Number two, cars will be slower. Particularly with cold temperatures, the tire grip is going to be reduced compared to what you might be used to. And just like tip number one, start a session with an open mind. Don't try and push too much. Just get a feel for how the tires act as they come in and out of the optimal range. Number three, hot and cold tires will act differently. Kunos classifies the revised tires as being nervous in the cold and docile but imprecise when hot. So, as you'd expect, the closer to the optimal temperature you are, the faster and more predictable your tires will behave. The bad news with the update is that the tires will take longer to get up to temperature, but the good news is that they'll hold it longer. Number four, tires will overheat. So expanding further on point number three, your tires may be prone to overheating since they cool slower than before, but remember, hot tires aren't undrivable, they're just imprecise. So adjust your driving style as needed to compensate for this and make some adjustments to your setup to help keep your tires in the green. Number five, negative camber can produce tramlining effects. Tramlining is a car's tendency to follow grooves on the road. If you've ever driven on grooved pavement before and felt your car wiggling underneath you, this is a form of tramlining. In ACC, road bumps and curbs running parallel to the car when you're using a lot of negative camber will cause tramlining effects, which can upset the rear of the car. So you'll need to find a balance on bumpy tracks between the grip afforded by negative camber and the resulting tramlining effects. Number six, open your brake ducts. Brake ducts will now play a much larger role in your setups in ACC. Opening them up as far as setting number 6 might be advantageous, so experiment and see what works for you. Number 7, you can reasonably run without traction control. Assuming the conditions allow it, running cars without traction control is now a realistic prospect. The extra grip you'll get in version 1.8 of ACC makes this possible, so it turns out that the Maserati GT4 drivers are just kind of ahead of their time. But be aware that your tires will wear out faster without the car mitigating spin. Number 8, you can reasonably run on full ABS. There's a little bit more freedom this time with the ABS, and running with it on full might actually bring you better results than you've had in the past. Aris does warn, however, that a bit of brake modulation might still be required to get the most out of the ABS system, so like number 7, you'll need to experiment. Number 9, use lots of negative camber only for qualifying. If your previous race setup included a lot of negative camber, you'll likely need to revisit this or risk overheating your tires. Using more negative camber for qualifying should still be fine for most people, but dial it down for the race to keep your tires from overheating. Number 10, there's more grip available on and off the racing line. You should notice more grip than before on the racing line, and as a bonus, you should also notice more grip off the racing line. Whether you're someone who braces bold lines to find more speed or somebody who makes missteps and veers off the ideal line, you won't be punished as severely for doing so as you would have been in the past. Alright, that's it. Again, full credit to Aris for sharing these tips with the group, and be sure to check out his channel, Aris.Drives, for lots of great technical explanations along this line. And thanks for watching. Have fun in version 1.8 of Assetto Corsa Competizione, which is due to drop today, November 24th. And thank you again for watching.